Scotch lovers.
Hey, how we doing, buddy?
It's Scotch for Dummies.
Scotch.
We're having fun. If you didn't realize
We
that.
always have fun.
When are we not having fun? That's what we're doing.
You and I are in a rare mood today, I can already tell.
This is gonna be a
It's
good
a long
one.
day, gentlemen.
What are we gonna drink?
So today
Scotch.
we have a nice bottle from Glenmorangie.
Glenmorangie.
Glenmorangie. I apologize for that.
Depends on how much you drink.
You can say Morangi if you want.
We
but-
picked this up from during a Scotch tasting that we did with one of the reps, brand ambassadors for Glenmorangie. It is Glenmo Ardbeg Dan. Dan Crowell is that's his Twitter handle.
Super great guy.
Yeah,
Super
very
intelligent, too.
knowledgeable.
My God.
Man, in fact, I still use some of his techniques to add my tastings.
Wow.
But anyway, this bottle is Quinta Urbana, 12 year. This is a 46% ABV bottle.
I like some of that.
I put 10 years in ex-bourbon casks, and then another 2 years in Quinta Urbana port pipes.
Now that
So
sounds
those are long, kind of elongated port barrels.
So it's gonna be sweet.
I'm expecting to get some of those ruby.
I expect
well,
it to
that's
be
the flavor.
so-
So what does
fruit notes.
Quinta Urbana?
So I don't remember exactly, but basically, I think Quinta is state in Portugal, and then Urbana is red, ruby.
Ruby red
There you go.
port wine. So we're gonna give a pour on this.
We've been waiting for this one for a while, right? We've
Yeah,
had
we've
one back
had this for a few months, but we've gotten samples from others. We've gotten other great bottles, so we decided to bring this out tonight. This bottle runs in the 45 to 55 range, depending on where you are and what time of year. And it's pretty much part of Glenmorangie's standard profile. They've got it around a lot. So,
So this will be an easy one to find, and it's not priced out of
Yeah, I think
everybody's
it's around
range.
$60.
it's a 12 year for $50. I mean, it's about what you'd expect, give or take these days.
Upper end of 50.
I will say when we sampled, well, we sampled a lot that night.
Yes, we.
But this seems like a pretty good food pairing scotch.
Yeah, it was.
It's got some bold flavors, and when we tried it, I don't remember the exact flavor profile, but I remember it pairing good with a lot of different kinds of foods. It just seemed like it was a good, bold scotch that could handle a lot of different situations.
Yeah.
I guess.
It was good, definitely.
Out of curiosity, what's the regular Glenmorangie bottle go?
Glenmorangie 10 is on the $35 range. So this
Okay.
is 10,
So it's super
10 plus
entry level.
dollars more.
Okay.
It's a Glenmorangie 10. So probably what they did is they took their normal, the original Glenmorangie, I apologize for that.
We'll get it.
And then they take that material and then they put it into these port tubes to finish
another
it off
couple
for another
years.
2 years.
So I don't remember back the taste, but I remember back when we did the tasting that out of all of them, I was really excited about this one. It had the best taste overall, so I'm excited to
Natural
go back
color.
to it and see what we get.
I'll tell you what, it's got like a pinkish cast to it.
So while we sniff
Which is
and
kinda
taste
cool.
this, why don't you go ahead and click the subscribe button,
Yeah.
click the bell to get notifications for us
Shall
as
we?
well, and we'll give us a second while we
Wow, that's
hit, the
Yeah.
hit the like button while
that's
you're at it, too.
unique.
Ooh, it's sweet. in there.
Unique good, unique
Well,
bad.
I'm just saying unique, and I don't think I've smelt that in a scotch.
It's got
I mean, it's
grapefruit.
different. It's,
Grapefruit?
It's got a tangy quality to it.
Yeah, port wine tang.
Yeah.
Like I guess it's not tawny port. It's a Quinta Urbana. So I don't know.
A little alcohol on the nose.
almost sour a little bit.
Yeah. Caramel. A little bit
Well,
of
when you're
both.
talking ports, you're talking a fortified wine. So,
Oh yeah, you're talking
you know,
something.
it's got some of those. I mean, it's got fruit. It's a wine, you know, so you're going to get some of those deep fruit notes. But it's also a fortified wine, so it's got that extra alcohol kick, and it gives it a little bit of a unique quality, I guess.
Sure.
So that's probably going to shine through a little bit in this, especially considering. I mean, it pulled some color. You know, it's got 2 years in there. So this is.
And I got dark chocolate, and I got a little bit of roasted like almonds or
Yeah,
nuts.
you're getting plums.
So
Dark
is this
cherry.
natural
on that.
color, or do we know?
It's a natural
there's
color. It says
definitely
right
some
there.
roast
Yeah.
nuts.
Doesn't-
Non-chill filtered, 46%. So yeah, this is nice. The nose isn't particularly complex. I'm not getting a lot of different things out of the nose, but that may just be my nose.
There's not a
tonight.
whole lot going on in the nose. I mean, I've said a
It
few
kind of
things,
cleared
but-
out after, you know, the first couple whiffs. I got that tangy quality about it. That I'm going to say came from the port,
Yeah.
but it kind of evaporated out.
It's nice.
I
It's
don't
pleasant.
really.
And I think we've reviewed the
Okay.
Glenmorangie 10.
It's like a dessert.
Yeah.
Scotch a little
I
bit.
really didn't care for the nose. I think the palate treated me better than the nose did, but
Mm-hmm.
Interesting. I need to let this sit for a second and open back up and maybe take another sip before I put some water on it. What'd you get on that first palate?
You know, it's got some of those deep fruit notes that I was looking at. I think I'm going to give it a second taste just to kind of see. I was missing something on there.
Yeah, I mean,
but I just took a small sip just to kind of get an initial first impression. And
the 46 was actually a little hotter than I expected it to be. But then again, what did we warm up with? That Dewar's 12. I don't know what that's 40.
Yeah.
It did hit me a little bit stronger than I was expecting, but
It's got a nice, rich quality to it in the palate.
The mouth feels good on it. I mean,
Yeah.
the color does have a peachy, just a little bit of a tint.
Very
to it.
dark chocolate, little flavor, and
almost
the
coffee-ish. No,
not so much coffee.
it's still got a tangy quality to it.
Yeah,
I get like a grapefruity,
almost a
lemon
bitter.
zesty kind of
Well, that's
quality.
what you smelled first was grapefruit.
Yeah, and it's bitter too at the end. I mean, on the palate, I can get that bitterness or tartness.
But it's got some of those deep fruits that I was expecting. It's got like a bubblegum quality to it.
a
Bubble
bubble
gum.
no, I'm not getting
I'm not
that.
getting bubble gum. Let me dig back into
I
this.
think that's the sweet. I don't know. I'm at a loss for it, to be honest with you.
So I did that's one of the techniques that Daniel taught us, was that you put it in your mouth and then you kind of draw through your lips and let it kind of bubble through the scotch, because I was trying to extract some deeper flavors, and you can definitely taste when you do that. I'm getting a lot of that Glenmorangie tan kind of bourbon barrel flavor in the middle, but the back, or the initial palate has more of the like plum and ruby fruits. The back is a little chocolate, maybe a little bitter, like you were saying, maybe coffee. That's where I'm getting out of it.
Let's see what happens when we add some water to it, gentlemen, because I have a feeling it may tame it down quite a bit. I bet the palate changes on this one.
Maybe it's tight.
Well, the nose is actually a little bit more of fruit now.
It's still got a tangy quality.
It does.
It's not the alcohol. It's something
No,
else.
it's like a almost sour, tart.
Like an astringent quality to it.
I hate to say that
grapefruit's even more
sourness is what
pronounced
I
now.
get.
The water doesn't help the nose, at least initially. Let me give it a second
That's
test.
not gonna please me because I'm not really falling in love with those.
I gotta change the air. Maybe we should use the small glasses for
And
this.
there's your bubble gum. I got that right there.
See?
Yeah.
Told you.
Just a quick hit of it.
I
That's
think
it.
Was it
I think
Hubba
it's
Bubba?
not.
It was Hubba Bubba.
I think it's not necessarily the bubblegum flavor. It's like a candy sweetness mixed with like the sour quality, and it gives it that like
Yeah.
artificial sweetness kind of flavor. You
Yep.
know what I mean?
Yep.
More
And I think that, yeah, right. You know,
Candy floss.
like stale bubblegum. Right? That's what I think of when I think
Stuff that's been
bazooka,
under your
man.
desk for a couple of
Like,
weeks. You know,
it's
you
like
pull that off.
chew-
This is gonna last for about 3 seconds.
Already been
I'm gonna
chewed.
enjoy those 3 seconds.
ABC,
ABC gum, baby.
ABC gum. Oh my goodness, guys! I think I'm about ready.
All right,
one more
do
sip.
it.
We're just
Do
one
it,
more
do it.
time
Go
here.
for it.
You guys got water on yours yet?
Yeah, I'm letting that do something to it.
I lose a
Good.
little bit of the tang on, a little bit of the sour on
Yeah.
it when you add the water. It does smooth it out a little better. Boy, but I'm getting a tang on the sides of my tongue.
But it kind of
Kind of
destroyed the finish for me. Like Neat, it had a much longer
Okay.
finish quality.
I think this guy's ready. He's like,
He is?
decision made.
Well, I got a decision, and I
cut.
may talk myself up, but we'll see what happens here.
All right, go.
But I enjoyed this one. It's definitely something that you're going to go to it when you're desiring something sweet, something different than a normal Scotch. I already said on the nose for me, the initial without water was kind of fruity, grapefruit. I got a little bit of the oak in the nose, not a whole lot, mind you. On the palate, oh man, it was tart. It had a little bitter to it, but the rubiness came out, the sweetness of it came out. I said it was rich, more caramely red, if you will. With the water, the nose kind of tamed down a little bit in alcohol, and I got that grapefruit a little bit more pronounced. And the balance of the water on the palate did tame down the tartness for me. And it actually gave me a little bit more, the dark chocolate went away and I got more of the oak. And a little bit of that bubble gum you was mentioning earlier, just a hit of that. But you know what, I like it better with water on this one. I didn't think I would, but it tamed it down on the palate. The nose was better neat, but I liked it better on the palate. So I think for $60, it's a good bottle. It's a different, well, 55, 50, $60, around that area. I think for the money, the value, and the sweetness of it, it's a good bottle. I think it's worth a 3.
Whoa!
Wow.
You stretched that. I was giving you the 2-5-man signal down there.
Bam.
I stand corrected, folks.
All right.
Drew coming out of the gate.
I can't go my normal all the
Bam.
time.
He called it audible.
It did
I said I was going to talk myself up, didn't I? I did. I was going to go 2.5, and I was like,
All right,
oh, look,
all
the
right.
price is pretty good.
That's all right. Okay, so the nose didn't really do it for me a whole lot. I mean, initially when poured, it had some tangy qualities to it, but it kind of faded out, and I really didn't get anything off the nose a whole lot. Even, obviously adding water didn't help that situation at all. Neat. It's a different kind of scotch. It's not. It isn't that sweet, super deep ruby, flavor that I was kind of anticipating. It's a little more, I guess, lighter and superficial, but it's got that tangy quality that I just
Can't get past.
I mean, well, it's just unique. You know what I mean? It's like eating Pop Rocks and drinking scotch.
What?
You know what I mean?
Try it, man.
It's
Hey,
a
we have
little
not tried
zinger.
Don't
you know?
knock it till you
I
try.
want one of our viewers to do that and tell us if they agree.
I'll do that.
Happen in a live
I
night.
okay,
We're
so he was
gonna
gonna
do it
send
in
us
a
a
live
scotch
night.
that makes it feel like that anyway.
Yeah, he did.
It wasn't. I don't want to say that it was bad because of that. It's just different, you know. So it had some of the sweet qualities, some of the lemon and grapefruit kind of mixed together with the sweet, and I think that's what's kind of giving it that zing on the tongue. Put the water on. Initially, it kind of killed it. Let it sit for a little bit. It came back. Kind of came together, but the sweetness kind of shines through a little bit more with the water, I
We
think.
get more ruby fruit down the nose too.
Yeah, and it toned down some of that astringent, like lemon and grapefruit qualities a little bit. Made it a little bit more approachable, I think. You're looking at $55-$60. That's not a bad price for this.
I think you guys are a little high.
Are we?
I think this is closer to the $50.
$50? All right, so
it's a little
$50.
bit better, yeah.
I mean, I would
That
put that
helps.
as an entry
Yeah, it
level.
does.
You're looking at a 12-year Scotch, but it's got a unique finish.
It does.
So I'm going to kind of give it some kudos for that. I mean, usually a 12-year, you're looking at a very basic entry-level Scotch.
Right.
That's either going to be a bourbon cask finish or a sherry cask finish, and that's about all you're going to get until you pay some more money.
Yeah.
So I'm going to give it up to these guys for actually throwing it into a port cask for a couple of years and giving it a little bit of a different quality to it. I'm going to give it a 2.5. I think it's worth that.
So one thing I wanted to add to while you were talking, that richness I was talking about earlier, it's creme brulee. That's what I was trying to get out of my head. And when he was talking, it came into me. So that palate for me is creme brulee.
Really?
That's what I'm getting.
How do they say it in France?
Oh.
Alright, anyway.
Oui, oui.
So, this is different. This is a unique Scotch for me. It's different than anything I can really relate it to as far as other Scotches. I didn't care for the nose at all. I thought the nose was not off-putting as to something that you're just going to be like, oh my gosh, I don't want to smell that, but it brought back like memories of making sauerkraut with my grandfather in the basement of his cellar and smelling that old crock and stuff, and I'm like, that's not what I want to smell in my Scotch. The water.
Well, you don't like
didn't help.
sauerkraut?
No, I love sauerkraut, man. I actually love to make. So yeah, I'm
It's
down
good
with
to
it. I just
eat.
don't want to drink
Smell while it's
it.
made.
So that didn't help. The palate wasn't as bad to me. It was enjoyable, different, and I think it's one of those that that's what I'm going for right now. It's not going to be one that I just reach for because it's sitting off. It doesn't fall in the mainstream anyway, which is kind of cool that they're doing it in a 12-year and trying to make it available to people. So I do gotta agree with your props to that. The water, no good on the nose, but I enjoyed it on the palate. I think it did mellow it out a little bit more, and at the end I got a little bit more flavors, and that was kind of cool. But to me, this is just middle of the road too. I appreciate the price point, and I appreciate that they're doing what they're doing at a 12-year at that price point to at least introduce people into Scotch that can't afford to go out and drop $200 because they want to get into a real boutique type of bottle. But doesn't do anything for me. I'm not saying I won't drink it because everybody knows I'm Scotch whore, but it's a 2. It's a 2 for me.
Okay.
There you go. Andrew?
Go ahead.
What?
I think I'm gonna
He's
call
doing
it right now.
He's gang signing down there.
I thought you were
Gang
going to say.
signing him.
I thought you were going to say it's not his wheel.
All right, go.
That's what I thought he was going to say too.
You're right. It's not my wheelhouse.
Totally
But,
not.
let me tell you, But I have to probably align most with Mark on this one. So the nose wasn't real great, I thought, originally. We let it sit. We added some water. I thought I pulled more ruby fruits out of the nose, which was kind of nice at the end. The palate is not great for me. It is. I can't get past the sour. I can't get past the tang, and it's a lot of the sweet ones. You get kind of a creaminess with them, and with this one, it had a fairly good mouthfeel, but once you added water to it, it kind of fell away. So I'm going to go with a 2 on this because it is not a bad Scotch. It's just not one that I would that I really appreciate. I think probably my flavor is not really geared to this. They have some unique flavors. I like the ruby. I love ruby fruits on any Scotch, but I don't think this is one of the better presentations of that.
They didn't pull a lot of ruby out.
No.
They pulled color out clearly because if you look at the Glenmorangie 10, it's much lighter than
It
this.
is. You're
So
right.
you did pull a lot of color out, but the flavor, maybe I don't like the Quinta Urbana port. Maybe that's the type of port
Could be.
isn't kind of up my alley. So I'm going to give it a 2. It is definitely worth $45. I mean, that's a good price for a 12-year Scotch. If you can find it for 45 up to 50, it's definitely worth trying for that. I wouldn't call this my everyday. You know, I could go less expensive for like a Johnny Walker even, or other Monkey Shoulder that has much more of a balanced palate for me. And
yes, right.
And so that's why I'm going to give this a low 2 probably.
So 2.
I'll tell you what.
And I'm not a 1.
This bottle, it'll get drunk on this bar. There's no doubt about it. I don't think.
Everything gets drunk.
Yeah, it's gonna
even Scotch
disappear.
blueberry.
I don't know. I think
maybe we're becoming Scotch snobs. I don't know.
I know. I think you guys. I mean, it's fair. You guys are opinions. So I think it's better than what you guys are saying. Honestly.
All right.
I think it's
Roger that, man. Everybody's got their own palate.
He gets a new title.
Yeah.
I'll be the Scotch whore tonight. I think for what it's the value, it's unique. Like you said, it's unique Scotch. It's not your everyday Scotch.
No.
But I like the fact that it's got a little bit dark richness to it that you're not going to get out of Scotch, but it's still a Scotch.
That's what he thinks it is.
I don't think it is what you
All right.
Inconceivable.
So 3, 2, 5, 2, 2, 2.125, 2.375.
Over. What's your vector, Victor? All right. So anyway, Glenmorangie.
Morangie. Don't forget to like us if you haven't already. I know you're sitting out there wondering if you should like us. You should totally like us.
You know what? I just want to tell you guys for the record, half y'all aren't subscribed. They're watching it. So subscribe right now.
Way more than that.
Yeah, because you definitely want to be notified about the live shows.
You don't want to miss out on all
Every
that.
Thursday, and we know the whiskey fabric's getting stronger and stronger. We have more people coming on our shows, so stay tuned. We're starting to blend and collab, so definitely stick with us.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Cheers, boys.
Cheers, guys.